Hi everyone, my name is Kelvin. I'm the Microsoft Certified Trainer. I'm also a Microsoft Office Expert 2019 365. Today, I'm going to talk to you about count function. There are four count functions that I am actually going to share with you in this video. Number one is a count function alone, where what it does is that it actually counts the number of cells within a range that contains number. As long as the cell has a number, then it will count. It will just ignore whatever cell that contains text or blank. So what about the second one? The second one is count all. A stands for all. Count all. In this formula, it will count all the number of cells within the range that are not empty. If you read carefully, it says that not empty, which means it doesn't really care whether the content is a text, a number, or symbols. As long as the cell has a content, then it will start to count. Right? So what it doesn't count is actually the cell which is blank. Having said that, if your cell is blank, then who will count it? Of course, the next formula called COUNTBLANK will do the part. So whatever count all don't do, especially the blank cell, then COUNTBLANK will count the cell which is empty. So what does it do? So you imagine this, if you have a column of a particular title called date paid, payment date, right? So if your boss walk up to you and say, hey, can you tell me how many customer have not paid? So what we can do, we just tell Excel, please go to the column payment date and count all those cells which are blank. In that way, we will know how many customer didn't pay. All right, just a quick one. All right. Now, the next formula that I'm going to share with you in this video is called COUNTIF. Now, this is a logical count function where it will count only when the particular cell meet a certain criteria. As it says that, count the number of cells within a range that meet a given condition. So let's walk right into the particular example. Now, first thing I want to talk about here is a count. What I have here, a set of data, which is called the survey. We have question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where the participant or the customer are supposed to show their satisfactory service that we are given. So we have 1 to 4, 1 being poor, 4 being excellent. So there are some questions which are not relevant, so they will put an A. So in this case, we have question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We want to know how many questions did Amila Carpenter answer the 7th question which is relevant to her. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write here equals to count, C-O-U-N-T, count, and I will highlight the range. The reason is why I choose count is because I only need to know how many questions is relevant to Amila Carpenter. So those which are not relevant is an A, they are all text. So I'm going to count only those that is relevant to Amila Carpenter. So there are 5 questions relevant to Amila Carpenter. All I need to do is just copy it down. Okay, just go to the little dot and drag it down. That's it. I have that taken care. Now, if you look at one of these question here, you see that they have Edison Doyle. Actually, question 5, she actually answered the question. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a 4. When I press enter, the number changed to 7 immediately. So with this case, if we have written this formula, you will notice something, that we do not worry about the formula anymore. What we must do in this particular example here is that you must make sure that all the data entry that I highlight here has to be entered accurately. Therefore, you get the counting done quickly. All right, that's number 1, count. Now, let's move down slightly. What we are going to do in this case will be, it's a objective question where you have a choice of A, B, C, D. So what I need to do here is I want to know how many questions did Amila Carpenter answer and how many questions she did not answer. So this is what I'm going to do. Now, because these are no longer numbers, I'm going to use something called count all. Then I'm going to highlight the range. I'm going to ask Excel, can you please count all the cell from C20 to I20 that has a content? So when I press enter, there you go. They tell me it's 5. Okay. Now, then I also need to know how many questions did Amila Carpenter leave out without any answer. So I'm going to do this equals to count blank. I'm going to highlight the same range. Whichever cell that is empty, they will start to count. There you go. It's 2. I'm going to highlight this and I will drag it up. So this is going to be very, very powerful for all your counting purpose. Huh? So you imagine this, the 2 exercises that I showed here is not only 7 questions, but there are 70 questions. You do not want to stay up late at night to count. And if there are not only 11 customers, but there are 11,000 customers, right, you are not going to stay up late. So by writing the formula, the number of effort you put in, or shall I say the effort that you put in is the same, whether or not they are 11,000 customer or 70 question or 7 question, 11 customer. The amount of effort is the same. All right, so try out the formula. Now, last but not least, in this video, I'm going to talk about COUNTIF. So in this example, I have again the question 1 to 7, and these are all the objective questions that has been answered. There's no right or wrong in this question, but it's just a preference. So we need to have a statistic where we want to know how many of this customer, the 11 of them, chose the answer A, B, C, or D. This formula requires you to use something called the mixed reference in it, right? So this is how it goes, equals to count if. Count if. Now there are 2 parameters required in this formula, which is called the range, followed by criteria. So range simply means where do you want them to count? And criteria simply means what do you want them to count? So in this example, range simply means the question 1. Question 1 is from N5 to N15. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to lock the row to avoid it from changing from row 515 to 616, 717. I do not want the row number, the row number to be shifted down when I copy the formula down. So I'm going to lock the row. And I'm not going to lock the column N, because when I copy from question 1, 2, 3, 4, I would like this reference to move to question 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this example, I'm going to use something called a mixed reference. Therefore, I'm going to do this. I'm going to press the function key F4 on your keyboard and make sure that I only lock the 5 or the 15 and the 15, right? So this is what I'm going to do, 5 and 15. All right. Now, I'm going to put a comma. As for the criteria, I'm looking for those who answer A. Now, I have a choice where I can type A like this. However, I do not want to do that, because if I were to copy it down for the next 3 cells, what happened is that they will still count the A. What I want them to do for the second row below this is the B, C, and D. Therefore, I will assign a cell to it. So I'm going to assign M19. And because I'm copying it down, I need the 19 to move to M20, M21, M22. Therefore, I'm not going to lock the row. However, when I copy from question 1 to question 7, I want it to maintain in column M. Therefore, I'm going to press the F4 till I see that there's a dollar next to M. That's it. All right, close the bracket, enter. So the good news here is that once this formula is ready, I can copy this formula to the right, and I can copy this formula to the bottom. That's it. I have all my answers written. All right. Now I want all of you to give it a try. You can fill up this particular example, and you can give it a try on some of your document. All right. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much.